Hey, welcome to a new video. SpongeBob SquarePants is an animated television series that first aired in 1999 and has since become a cultural phenomenon. The show follows the adventures of SpongeBob, a cheerful and optimistic sea sponge, and his friends in the underwater city of Bikini Bottom. A notable element of the show is Squidward's unique house, which resembles the Moai statues found on Easter Island. Squidward, a grumpy and often misunderstood octopus, resides in a stone house with a large stone face featuring a long nose, reminiscent of iconic Moai statues. The Moai statues are monolithic human figures carved by the Rapa Nui people on Easter Island, located in the southeastern Pacific Ocean. These statues are known for their large heads with prominent noses and expressions. They hold cultural and historical significance, representing ancestral spirits and the achievements of the Rapa Nui civilization. Incorporating a house inspired by the Moai for Squidward and SpongeBob SquarePants adds a touch of humor and cultural reference to the show. Are you new to this channel? Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And before we start, also like the video. Since the start, Family Guy has built a reputation for its bold and controversial style of humor. In a specific episode, partial terms of endearment, sensitive subject matter is addressed, leading to the episode being banned. The story unfolds as an old college acquaintance of Lois approaches her and suggests that she become a surrogate mother for her baby. Despite initial hesitation and objections from Peter, Lois ultimately decides to go through with the pregnancy. At one point, Peter lures Lois into the desert with the intention of inducing a miscarriage. Later, they discover that Lois's friend had died in an accident, putting her in a position to decide whether or not to proceed with the pregnancy. Lois and Peter go to an abortion clinic only for Peter to be convinced by an anti-abortion protester not to go through with it. The scene you see here is the conversation between Peter, Lois, and Brian, during which both Brian and Peter present nearly every argument typically made in pro- and anti-abortion discussions, interspread with some inappropriate humor. Notably, the episode concludes with Lois actually having an abortion.
With over 30 years and some 600 episodes to their credit, it's no secret that The Simpsons have predicted the future multiple times. Whether it's pure coincidence, some things just seem too strange to dismiss. The most uncanny prediction that they had made was the Ebola virus. The episode in question aired in 1997 and is titled Lisa Sacks. In it, Marge shows a book to the sick Bart titled Curious George and the Ebola virus. The bizarre thing is that this happened 7 years before the outbreak. But The Simpsons have also predicted events like the presidency of Donald Trump. The examples, however, run into the dozens. How is it that the creators of The Simpsons are so accurate with their predictions?
The main setting of the SpongeBob SquarePants series is the Krusty Krab, a fast food restaurant where SpongeBob works as a fry cook under the supervision of his boss, Mr. Krabs. One of the most iconic foods served at the Krusty Krab is a Krabby Patty, a delicious hamburger beloved by the residents of Bikini Bottom. For years, fans were intrigued about the secret recipe of the Krabby Patty. The formula for the Krabby Patty was closely guarded in secret, known to only a few characters in the show. Numerous episodes revolved around characters like Plankton, Mr. Krabs' rival, attempting to steal the formula and replicate the success of the Krusty Krab. However, the actual ingredients of the Krabby Patty formula remained a mystery for a long time. It was only relatively recently that the secret was revealed. Are you ready for it? The secret formula includes a pinch of an ingredient called Poseidon's Poison, also known as King Neptune's Poseidon Powder. In a deleted scene from Pokemon, a skilled trainer named Shirataki had planned a unique lesson for the Pokemon trainers. He wanted to teach them the art of throwing shurikens through a target practice session. However, what happened turned out to be downright absurd. As Shirataki demonstrated the throwing technique, the trainers were astonished by what they saw. Or rather, we were astonished. Instead of the traditional shurikens they were familiar with, they were faced with something entirely unexpected. In the United States, the shurikens were not only censored to have softer edges, but also changed in color to a playful pink. To add to the hilarity, the sound effects accompanying the throwing discs were altered to produce a soft sound. It became evident that these changes were made to discourage children from getting any ideas about playing with real shurikens. It probably won't surprise you that South Park is at the top of our list. Since the cartoon is known for its strange jokes and controversial material, it's not surprising that they've crossed the line in specifically 2 episodes. Episode 200 and 201 were banned for portraying the Prophet Muhammad. The outrage was sparked tremendously by Middle Eastern terrorist groups because they weren't happy with the way South Park mocked Muhammad and Islamic traditions. At one point, several extremist groups even began to threaten South Park because their traditions forbid portraying Muhammad in any way. However, the threats went way too far, and it was said that if they didn't stop portraying Muhammad, that the creators could expect reprisals. It didn't really stop the creators though, but eventually they decided to censor Muhammad, and later the network banned the episodes. Fantasia is a groundbreaking animated film released by Walt Disney Productions in 1940. It's a unique cinematic experience that combines classical music with animated imagery, resulting in a series of enchanting and imaginative segments. The film is directed by a team of famous Disney animators and features the iconic character Yen Sid. Interestingly, the name Yen Sid is not mentioned in the film itself and was actually coined by the animators. It's Disney spelled backwards and serves as a tribute to Walt Disney, the visionary behind the film. The animators chose this clever wordplay to honor their esteemed leader and create a memorable and fitting name for the character. The first appearance of the name Yen Sid can be traced back to the 1940 script titled Walt Disney's Fantasia, written by Deems Taylor. Yen Sid, depicted as the sorcerer and conductor in the segment The Sorcerer's Apprentice, is an iconic figure in Disney's history. His stern demeanor and powerful presence captivate the audience as he wields magical powers and guides the mischievous apprentice, Mickey Mouse, on a fantastic journey. On August 8, 1991, Tailspin, Disney's beloved animated series, aired its final episode titled Flying Dupes. This significant episode marks the 65th episode of the series. In the intriguing story of this episode, Baloo unwittingly becomes entangled in a dangerous situation. He enlisted to deliver a housewarming gift to the summer home of the Tiberian High Marshal, but Baloo is unaware that he's been tricked into transporting a ticking bomb. Tensions rise as Baloo gets caught in a perilous game of deception and danger. Due to the sensitive nature of the terrorism theme depicted in the episode, it was banned from reruns. However, Flying Dupes was later re-aired on the Toon Disney Channel in 1999, surprising viewers who were unaware of its banned status. In 2013, the episode was also released on DVD and made available for purchase through digital retailers.
There are certain hand gestures and signals that are associated with evil and the devil. One of these is the devil's dog. In several of Disney's most popular and famous movies, the main characters make that same hand gesture. And believe it or not, it's not just the bad guys in the movies that make this gesture. It's also the good characters, like Cinderella and princesses like Jasmine and Snow White, just to name a few. Some people will say that the hand gesture may have been an accident, but others believe that there is a hidden meaning behind it.
Brother Bear is an animated film produced by Walt Disney Animation Studios and released in 2003. The film is set in North America after the Ice Age and tells the story of a young Inuit boy named Kenai. Kenai has a tragic encounter with a bear, which results in him transforming into a bear himself. In this new form, he embarks on a journey of self-discovery and learns important lessons about empathy, brotherhood, and the interconnectedness of all living beings. While Brother Bear captivated audiences with its heartwarming story and stunning animation, it also contained a hidden Easter egg for eagle-eyed viewers. This clever reference served as a fun surprise for fans of both films. The cameo occurs during a scene in which Kenai, now transformed into a bear, encounters a group of friendly salmon swimming upstream. However, you have to look closely, because it's only visible for a few seconds. As Kenai tries to catch a fish, we see the clownfish Nemo from the animated film Finding Nemo. The Principal and Pauper belongs to the second episode of the 9th season of The Simpsons. It originally aired on September 28, 1997 on the Fox network in the United States. This particular episode delves into the astonishing turn of events that occurred when Seymour Skinner, the longtime principal of Springfield Elementary School, is confronted by a man who claims that Skinner has stolen his identity. As the story unfolds, Skinner reluctantly confesses that he's not who he appears to be. He admits that his real name is Armin Tomzarian. The episode, known for its controversial nature, received overwhelmingly negative responses from both fans and critics. The revelation that Principal Skinner was an imposter left many feeling betrayed and frustrated. The character's growth and emotional investment built around him seemed to be discarded in one plot twist. Even the series creator, Matt Groening, expressed his disdain for the episode. Beavis and Butt-Head is a cartoon series about silly boys and their daily lives. In the 1993 episode called Comedians, Beavis and Butt-Head have fun destroying and burning things around them. Unfortunately, this inspired a 5-year-old boy in real life to start a fire of his own in his house, which ended tragically. But how could this show inspire someone to start a fire? Well, in the episode, there were messages that playing with fire is fun. After this event, it was decided to change the episode, but later the entire episode was removed. So since then, this episode's never been seen on television again. In the film Beauty and the Beast, there's a fascinating Easter egg related to the locations of Anaheim and Valencia. During a scene in the film, Maurice Belle's father is depicted making his way through the forest. He comes across a series of signs, but the text on them is unclear and difficult to read. Upon closer inspection, however, it turns out that the lower sign says Anaheim. But what's in Anaheim, you might wonder? Well, two things. This clever reference serves as a fun nod to the real-world connection between the film and Disneyland, which has a significant presence in Anaheim. Disneyland is known as the first and most iconic theme park created by the Disney Company. Interestingly, the sign above the Anaheim sign says Valencia. This reference holds extra significance beyond the film's plot. Valencia is, in fact, the location of Six Flags Magic Mountain, a popular theme park in California. It's also the home of the California Institute of the Arts, a prestigious institution founded by Walt Disney. Ash's attempt to catch Pokemon was interrupted in this episode titled The Legend of Dratini. This episode is known for a scene that highlighted significant cultural differences in humor perception between Japan and the West. Episode 35 originally aired in Japan on November 25, 1997. It follows Ash and his companions as they enter the Safari Zone to catch a new Pokemon. However, their adventure takes an unexpected turn when they encounter an angry park warden who points a gun at them. It's only thanks to Ash's quick thinking and clever words that a disaster is averted. This scene proves to be distressing for Western audiences. As a result, the episode was banned outside of Japan. While firearms are commonplace in television shows, this specific context crossed the line for censors. And the fact that the episode also involved a bomb. There was no way to remove these scenes without disrupting the flow of the cartoon, so the entire episode was cancelled.
You may think that Minions were simple, heartwarming, and funny characters, created for the Despicable Me franchise, but there is a theory behind their existence that will change your mind forever. The story claims that Minions are based on Jewish children, who were taken away by the Nazis during the war. In fact, there is a picture circulating, in which we see similar masks that Minions also wear. However, the website Snopes, which is known for their fact-checking, claims that Minions are not inspired by Nazi era. Still, the masks are very similar. What do you think? Let me know in the comments.
Here we have another controversy surrounding the Disney animated film, The Lion King. A notable controversy relates to a fleeting image that some viewers interpreted as a secret message. On the original VHS cover of The Lion King, there was a scene where Simba, the main character, lies down and looks up at the stars. Some people claim that if you look closely at the arrangement of the stars in the sky, a specific word was spelled out. This claim gained attention when the film was released in 1994. The controversy arose because the letters S, E, and X appeared to be spelled out by the stars. However, it's important to note that the alleged message was not intentional. According to Disney, the letters were meant to spell SFX, as a tribute to the film's special effects team. The arrangement of the stars were coincidental, and not a deliberate attempt to insert a hidden message. Disney responded to the controversy by altering later releases of the film to remove the controversial star arrangement. In later versions, the stars were arranged to create a less ambiguous pattern, eliminating any potential misinterpretation. The Amazing World of Gumball centers around the adventures of Gumball Watterson, a mischievous 12-year-old cat residing in Elmore. Together with his loyal fish friend, Darwin, Gumball often finds himself in various precarious situations. In the 13th episode of Season 2, aptly titled The Skull, the boys befriend their classmate Clayton, who happens to be a pathological liar. In an attempt to help Clayton break his habit of lying, Gumball and Darwin come up with a plan involving shock collars. Whenever one of them tells a lie, they press a button, activating the collar. This is what even the most loyal fans described as taking a joke too far. The episode was eventually banned in the United States, as well as other parts of the world, as shock therapy is considered illegal in the United States. As a result, the scene from the episode was removed. However, this decision was not limited to the US, and also affected international broadcasts. You surely know the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This popular cartoon is about 4 fictional characters who play the lead roles: Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, and Raphael. But what many people don't know is that an episode was banned in the United States while it was broadcasted in other countries. We're talking about the episode Insane in the Membrane. Lloyd Goldfine, the producer of the series, explained that the final version of the series was deemed unfit to be aired by Fox broadcast standards. In fact, the animations and storyline horrified them, so they decided that the episode should not be shown to the masses. The strange thing is that during the production, every step was confirmed and accepted, but in the end, the episode was still banned. The creators ended up receiving a lot of criticism from fans for not airing the episode. The Ant Bully is an animated film from 2006, produced by Warner Bros. It tells the story of a boy named Lucas who is ruthlessly bullied by his neighbor, Sid. In retaliation, Lucas floods an anthill in his yard, only to be magically shrunk to ant size by a wizard ant named Zoc. As a tiny ant, Lucas is taken to the ant colony, where he learns valuable lessons about friendship, teamwork, and standing up to bullies. Along the way, he also learns a few lessons about secret societies. In the film, there's a character, the grandmother, portrayed as a paranoid conspiracy theorist. If you look at her rocking chair, you'll find a symbol of the Freemasons on the backrest. This is one of the most recognizable symbols associated with Freemasonry, a fraternal organization dating back centuries. Most children of the 90s fondly remember the comedic adventures of Buster Bunny, Plucky Duck, Hampton J. Pig, and their colorful friends. However, there is one specific episode that stands out, an episode controversial enough to be banned. This banned episode, known as One Beer, stirred up controversy due to its content revolving around drunkenness. Originally aired on September 18, 1991, as part of the Elephant Issues episode, most of the episode follows the typical format of Tiny Toon adventures. The first segment, titled Why Dizzy Can't Read, addresses the negative influence excessive television watching can have on literacy. However, it's the third and final segment, appropriately named One Beer, that takes a more direct and potentially uncomfortable approach. This segment delves into the dangers of drinking, and depicts Buster, Plucky, and Hampton engaging in drinking, criminal activities, and ultimately driving off a cliff. The episode aims to instill fear in younger viewers to emphasize the message that even a single sip of beer can lead to disastrous consequences.
Have you ever seen the popular children's series Thomas the Train? It's about a family of talking trains who have all sorts of adventures on the island of Sodor. However, there are a number of theories circulating that can keep you up at night. One of the theories suggests that Thomas the Train is set in an environment you'd rather not be in. The island of Sodor, where the trains are located, would be the only safe place in a post-apocalyptic world, where the trains are cannibalized. Not only that, but if they disobey their master, the Fat Controller, they are punished, taken apart, and sold for scrap. In one of the books, titled Stepney the Bluebell Engine, Percy the Train says that locomotives on another railroad are not safe. Also, one of the trains says that the controllers are cruel, and that they hate locomotives. Even Henry the Train was once buried in a dark tunnel.
Boss Baby is an animated comedy film released in 2017, produced by DreamWorks Animation. The story revolves around a baby named Ted, who dresses in a suit and carries a briefcase. He secretly works as a high-ranking official at Baby Corp, an organization that oversees the balance between babies and puppies in the world. The film follows Ted's mission to stop an evil plot that threatens the balance between babies and puppies. In Boss Baby, there are clever references to the classic family comedy Home Alone, adding an extra layer of nostalgia for viewers. Home Alone, released in 1990, tells the story of Kevin McAllister, an 8-year-old boy who is accidentally left behind when his family goes on a Christmas vacation. Kevin must defend his home against 2 bumbling burglars, using clever and inventive traps. Just like in the film, when Boss Baby applies aftershave, he screams just as Kevin McAllister did decades ago. The Walt Disney Company made a surprising announcement just 3 days after the release of The Rescuers on home video. They stated their intention to recall over 3.4 million copies of the film. The reason for this unexpected decision? A controversial image that had somehow made its way into the background of a particular scene. This questionable image, consisting of the faint silhouette of a woman, is visible for only a fleeting moment in the film. On January 10, 1999, a magazine reported on the issue. According to a Disney spokesperson, the controversial images were inserted to the film during the production process. However, they refrained from revealing details about the nature of these images or who was responsible for their inclusion. Upon closer examination, the faint silhouette in question had a sinister appearance. Her face, when zoomed in, appears eerie and reminiscent of something from a horror movie. The origin of this disturbing addition remains a mystery, leaving everyone puzzled about its source. Gary Takes a Bath is an episode of the iconic cartoon SpongeBob and was banned in the UK, and even Australia because of a silly joke that was not meant for children. However, the whole episode is a bit odd, because Squidward is in a surreal nightmare, and Patrick and SpongeBob are also not okay. But the plot wasn't the biggest problem in the end. The episode features a cross-eyed girl, which was considered disturbing by both governments, and there was a "don't drop the soap" joke, which ultimately led to the decision to ban the entire episode. Of course, children don't understand this joke, but the older audiences did, and they felt this didn't belong in a cartoon. To this day, the episode is still banned. Aladdin is a beloved animated Disney film released in 1992, based on the Middle Eastern folk tale from 1001 Nights. The film tells the story of a young street urchin named Aladdin, who embarks on a magical adventure after discovering a powerful genie in a magic lamp. An intriguing revelation regarding Aladdin is the confirmation of a long-standing urban legend surrounding the film. Director Ron Clements and John Musker have confirmed decades later that the character of the peddler, who appears at the beginning of the film and is voiced by Robin Williams, is indeed the genie himself. According to them, the original intention was for the peddler character to reveal himself as the genie toward the end of the film. This would have provided a surprising twist and a connection between the two characters voiced by Robin Williams. Due to story changes and editorial decisions, the revelation was ultimately removed from the final version of the film. For years, fans have speculated about the connection between the peddler and the genie, given their shared voice actor and similar mannerisms. Tom and Jerry have had their share of controversies, particularly regarding racial representations. One of them is Mammy Two Shoes, a heavyset African-American woman depicted as a housemaid. A short film from the 1960s titled The Truce Hurts shows a meat truck splattering mud on Tom, Jerry, and Spike, causing them to be blackened, which is seen as blackface, leading to the complete banning of the episode. Blackface is a controversial practice in which white people paint their faces black or use makeup to present a stereotypical and demeaning portrayal of dark-skinned individuals. It's strongly criticized and considered unacceptable in many societies. However, this isn't the only episode with blackface. In Mouse Cleaning, a 1948 animated film, Tom is shown in the last minute doing a Step and Fetch It imitation. Similarly, in Casanova Cat, a 1951 animated film, Jerry is depicted after Tom blows a cigar on him. These extended sequences are challenging to edit without disrupting the flow of the cartoons, leading Warner Bros. To decide not to attempt to alter them.
Everyone knows Dora, who travels with her monkey friend Boots through a fictional and supernatural world. In each episode, they stumble upon an animal in need of help. A talking map and backpack, along with other talking animals, help them reach their destination. The villain, Swiper the Fox, always appears to try to steal from Dora. Although there are fan theories about the evil fox and how he is deterred, that is not the scariest hidden thing in Dora, because fans of the show actually found something creepy in the theme song of Dora the Explorer. If you listen to the song backwards, you'll come to a creepy discovery and hear, "Hail Satan." This phrase is often used by Satanists to show their devotion to Satan. Pretty creepy, isn't it?
Adventure Time is an animated television series known for its quirky and imaginative stories. Created by Pendleton Ward, the show is set in the land of Oo, and follows the adventures of Finn the human and his magical shape-shifting dog, Jake. In the episode What Have You Done?, there's a surprising Easter egg involving a character named Princess Bubblegum. Princess Bubblegum is a beloved character in the series, and is the ruler of Candy Kingdom. During the episode, Princess Bubblegum is seen reading a book with an intriguing detail. Viewers can spot the numerical sequence 5318008 within the text. This sequence is a playful example of numerical wordplay, often referred to as a calculator word or calculator spelling. When the sequence 5318008 is entered into a calculator and the display is flipped upside down, it roughly resembles another amusing word. Can you see it? During the totally twisted telly event of an episode in Season 3 of SpongeBob SquarePants, Squidward is blown up twice. But can you guess why the scene was removed? In the scene, Squidward accidentally triggers a security system installed by Mr. Krabs at the Krusty Krab. The purpose of the system was to deter unauthorized individuals, including Plankton, from stealing the Krabby Patty formula. The security system involves a bucket that Squidward mistakenly takes for water. Unfortunately, it turns out to be filled with gasoline. When Squidward accidentally spills the flammable liquid on the floor, a spark ignites, leading to a fiery explosion. However, this scene was later removed from future broadcasts of the episode. Reports of the removal of the scene began as early as January 2002, just 3 months after the original airing. The reasons behind it initially led to speculation, including concerns about children attempting to handle or ignite gasoline. Everyone knows Bugs Bunny, the popular cartoon character from the Looney Tunes. But did you know that there were 11 episodes of the Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies cartoons that were banned in 1968? This is because the episodes were considered highly offensive. The reason why the cartoons are banned even today is because it contains storylines or characters that are full of racist stereotypes, especially of African Americans. However, Warner Bros., the creators of the show, still wanted to release the 11 episodes on DVD. But in 2018, it was decided not to do so after all, due to changing cultural sensitivities, as well as the poor sales of classic cartoon DVDs. Here's a list of the 11 banned episodes. Number 1, Hitting the Trail for Hallelujah Land. Number 2, Sunday Go to Meetin' Time. Number 3, Clean Pastures. Number 4, Uncle Tom's Bungalow. Number 5, Jungle Jitters. Number 6, The Isle of Pingo Pongo. Number 7, All This and Rabbit Stew. Number 8, Coal Black and the Seven Dwarfs. Number 9, Tin Pan Alley Cats. Number 10, Angel Puss. And number 11, Goldilocks and the Yevon Bears. Futurama is an animated science fiction series created by Matt Groening, the same mind behind The Simpsons. The show is set in the 31st century and follows the adventures of a delivery boy named Fry, who accidentally gets cryogenically frozen and wakes up 1,000 years later. A unique aspect of Futurama is the use of alien languages throughout the show. These languages aren't fully developed languages in the traditional sense, but rather a form of background jokes and visual humor. Technically, the alien languages in Futurama aren't separate languages, but rather an encoded form of English. These alien languages appear in the background, often on signs, billboards, and other visual elements, providing an extra layer of detail for attentive viewers. While there are numerous alien languages depicted in the series, only 2 have been deciphered by fans. The first is the Alienese language, which is widely recognized and successfully deciphered. Alienese is a simple substitution code where each symbol corresponds to a letter in the English alphabet. The second deciphered language is the Niblonian language, associated with the character Nibbler, a small, mysterious creature with a voracious appetite. The Niblonian language is also a substitution code, but the symbols are different from Alienese. Large Marge is the 4th episode in season 14 of The Simpsons. The scene you see here was actually used in promotional material for the show on Fox. The episode revolves around Marge's concern about her physical attractiveness to Homer. She decides to undergo liposuction. However, a scenario unfolds in which Marge receives breast implants intended for one of the Mayor Quimby's female interns. To make matters worse, the doctor advises Marge to wait 48 hours before the implants can be removed. While Large Marge was intended as a comedic episode, it has received criticism from some viewers. They argue that the episode sexualizes Marge and therefore should have been removed. In this specific scene, Marge struggles with her enhanced body and hides her upper body with 2 pans when Bart enters the kitchen. Do you think this scene deserves to be banned?
Gravity Falls is an American Disney series that first aired in 2012. It tells the story of twins Dipper and Mabel, who are sent to live with their great uncle, the gruff Grunkle Stan. He gets the twins to help run a tourist trap called the Mystery Shack in the fictional town of Gravity Falls. In one of the episodes, someone is said to have noticed Slender Man behind one of the trees. But some people believe that this was an internet hoax, and that Slender Man did not appear in the series. But the Slender Man character did appear in the comic book, Gravity Falls: Lost Legends, which was released in 2018. This comic book tells 3 stories set during the final season, with one set in Grunkle Stan's childhood.
It's an intriguing coincidence when fictional media unintentionally intersects with real-world events. Such a case occurred in an episode of the animated series Johnny Bravo, which depicted the Twin Towers. The bizarre aspect is that the episode aired 5 months before the tragic event. The episode in question, titled Chain Gang Johnny, originally aired on May 14, 2001. It featured a scene in which the main character Johnny Bravo gets into an argument with the character Carl on the street. In the background, a poster can be seen with the words "Coming Soon" and an image of the towers. The eerie thing about this situation is that the episode aired before September 11, 2001. In the world of classic television, there exists a notable episode from the first season of The Flintstones titled The Prowler. Unfortunately, this particular episode has been omitted from later broadcasts due to problematic Japanese racial stereotypes. In this omitted episode, Betty and Wilma enroll in a self-defense class. The motivation behind their choice stems from a prowler sighting in their town. Fred, the ever-mischievous protagonist, intends to prove their alleged cowardice, and he disguised himself as the intruder. Betty and Wilma find themselves under the tutelage of Mr. Hashimoto, and Asian stereotypes of accents and excessive bowing abound. The actors' accents change as they mimic him. And all of this has caused outrage and protests due to the racist undertone of the scene. This is why it was scrapped. However, there are still people on the internet who claim not to see offense in the scene, arguing that it's innocent because it's a cartoon. What do you think? Can you believe that cartoons can cause real physical harm to children? Sounds pretty crazy, right? It may surprise you, but in 1997, more than 700 children suffered seizures as a result of the Pokemon episode Den-no Senshi Porygon. The episode never aired in America, and it was even banned in Japan for a long time. The reason for this is because Pikachu used lightning powers. These lightning powers caused many flashes and light explosions in different colors, which caused several people to experience epileptic seizures. Not just the episode, but even the whole series was said to be cancelled for 4 months. Everyone knows the story of Mowgli, the boy raised by wolves trying to live in a human village. In the Disney animated film The Jungle Book, there's an interesting story behind the characters known as the Vultures. Originally, the Vultures were intended to be voiced by the iconic British band The Beatles. Brian Epstein, the band's manager, approached Disney with the idea of having the Beatles appear in the film. As a result, Disney's animators created the Vultures specifically to be voiced by the band members. However, when Brian Epstein presented the idea to the Beatles, John Lennon reportedly vetoed the concept. Instead, Lennon suggested that Brian should tell Disney to hire Elvis Presley for the role. This ultimately led to the Beatles not providing the voices for the Vultures in The Jungle Book. Nonetheless, the animators decided to incorporate a tribute to the Beatles in the design of the Vultures. The appearance of the Vultures, complete with mop-top hairstyles and Liverpool accents, is a clear nod to the Beatles. In fact, one of the birds is specifically modeled after George Harrison in both voice and appearance. After the Beatles withdrew from the project, the originally planned song for the Vultures had to be rewritten. Mickey Mouse Works is a collection of animated short films produced by Disney. The episode Minnie Takes Care of Pluto aired on January 22, 2000 and received numerous complaints about its content. The story unfolds when Mickey unexpectedly drops off Pluto at Minnie's house. An irritated Minnie, expressing her frustration, tells Pluto to stay away from her. This set the stage for Pluto's inner struggle, as his guilty conscience manipulates him into believing that Minnie intends to harm him. Moments that convince him of this include a scene in which Pluto imagines Minnie spreading poison berry jelly on his dog dish, accompanied by Minnie's sinister laughter. Furthermore, another imagined scene shows Minnie burying Pluto alive, and a third involves Minnie attempting to harm Pluto with a club. Additionally, the episodes include a nightmarish sequence in which Pluto, instead of ascending to heaven, finds himself in hell. Notably, the demons take the form of Doberman Pinschers, deviating from the traditional depiction of black cats, and Pluto's devilish conscience assumes the role of Satan.
It seems incredible that a DuckTales episode that aired from the 1980s literally had the words, "Ask about the Illuminati" in the background. In this episode, Scrooge McDuck goes to the doctor's office, and in the background we see a remarkable painting. In case you're not familiar with the Illuminati, it's a theory that says a secret society would rule the world. The Illuminati are also said to have strange rituals, symbols, and rank orders. Whether this is true or not, it's pretty strange that one of the creators chose this particular painting. Did he want to tell us something, or was he just bored? The fact that this was found in a children's show is very strange, to say the least. Don't you think so?
The Lion King is a Disney animated film that becomes embroiled in controversy surrounding a hidden message that was believed to be concealed in its poster. This controversy revolved around the belief that the iconic lion's face on the poster was intentionally designed in the shape of a woman. The controversy arose when some viewers closely analyzed the artwork and claimed to see a subtle integrated female figure within the lion's facial features. According to these claims, the shape of the lion's mane was formed in the outline of a woman's body. However, many critics argue that the presumed female figure is simply the result of pareidolia, a psychological phenomenon in which individuals perceive familiar patterns or shapes. In this case, pareidolia can lead people to interpret the lion's mane as a resembling of a woman due to the complexity and abstract nature of the artwork. The Loud House is an animated series about Lincoln Loud, a child trying to survive in a household with 10 siblings and family members. In an episode titled Liner Takes All, there was a scene that was removed and replaced due to its content. The episode revolves around the kids' attempts to rein in Lynn's excessive competitiveness as she consistently becomes a poor winner. As the story unfolds, the kids hatch a plan to make Lynn lose at a game in hopes of teaching her a lesson. However, the plan backfires, fueling Lynn's extreme competitiveness in every aspect of daily life, including getting up, eating, and even going up and down the stairs. This is where the edited clip comes into play. In the original scene, Lynn challenges Lola to a toothbrushing competition, aiming to brush her teeth faster. However, instead of her tooth falling out as intended, the original plan was for Lynn's gums to bleed heavily. This graphic depiction was ultimately deemed unsuitable for broadcast, leading to the decision to remove the scene entirely. While the original scene didn't air on TV, the likely choice for a replacement was to maintain a lighter one. The Donald Duck episode, De Fuhrer's Face, is an episode in which Donald Duck has a nightmare and has to work in a German factory. The episode has been banned in Russia for inciting hatred and hostility. However, it's also been banned in America and other countries for its Nazi symbolism and war propaganda purposes. The episode was released in 1942 and portrayed Nazi Germany under Adolf Hitler. However, in 2016, charges were filed in Russia that the episode used satire to mock ideology. Eventually, the Russian court decided that the episode could be seen again. However, the episode remains banned in America and is also not viewable on Disney+. Cow and Chicken is an animated comedy television series created by David Feiss and first aired on Cartoon Network. It follows the adventures of two biological siblings, Cow and Chicken, who couldn't be more different. Cow is a very cute and naive character, while her older brother Chicken is very skeptical and suspicious. In the second season of Cow and Chicken, there's a segment titled Buffalo Gals that was banned by Cartoon Network due to a complaint from a concerned parent. The episode's ban stemmed from visual and verbal ambiguity surrounding the biker group, hinting at their lesbian identity. In this segment, the Buffalo Gals evade houses and chew on carpets, with one of the bikers, Munch Kelly, leaving a carpet sample as a calling card. When Dad expresses concern about the presence of the Buffalo Gals in their home, Mom casually remarks, "They're not after you." Additionally, the Buffalo Gals engage in softball activities and discuss pitching and catching, further contributing to the episode's ambiguity. Furthermore, Cow and Chicken was banned in India due to its depiction of violence against cows. In Indian culture, cows are revered and hold a sacred status.
One of the creepiest things found in a cartoon from the Three Little Pigs? If you have seen this old cartoon, then you know how the story goes. But let me tell you about it in a nutshell. The Three Little Pigs had to deal with a wolf that was painting and puffing and blew their house down. The Piglets 1993 short film is one of the first Disney classics. It follows the piglets, who are actually named Naf Naf, Nif Nif, and Noof Noof, as they battle the big bad hungry wolf who wants to eat them. After the wolf chases them out of the wooden house, the three settle in the third piglet's brick house, where a grisly truth comes to light. In one of the episodes, we see a painting of sausages, under which Father is written. As you know, sausage is made from pigs. So does this mean that the piglet's father was eaten?
The Hunchback of Notre Dame is a Disney animated film from 1996, based on Victor Hugo's classic novel. The film tells the story of Quasimodo, a kind-hearted bell ringer who lives in the bell tower of the Notre Dame castle. Quasimodo's life takes a dramatic turn when he encounters the beautiful Esmeralda and faces the prejudice and cruelty of the malevolent judge Claude Frollo. In the animated film, there's a notable scene that contains various Easter eggs, adding an extra layer of fun and intrigue for viewers. In this specific scene, observant viewers can spot various characters from other Disney films. First, there's a brief cameo appearance of Belle from The Beauty and the Beast. She's seen in the background while reading a book. This cameo is a playful nod to another beloved Disney animated film, creating a sense of connection and a shared universe among the stories. Additionally, the scene shows Aladdin's magical carpet floating through the air. Finally, two men are seen carrying Pumbaa, the adorable warthog from The Lion King, on a stretcher. Censorship played a role that evolved throughout the seasons of Gravity Falls during the summer of Mabel and Dipper's adventures with their eccentric uncle. While the first season experienced minimal censorship, there was a significant increase in content censorship in the second season. This shift can be attributed to the emergence of darker storylines and significant character development. This may have been the episode that led the network to take action against the second season. Gideon Rises, the 20th episode of the first season, was part of a two-part Gideon Rises, the 20th part of the first season, was part of a two-part season finale. As the summer in Gravity Falls neared its end, Mabel and Dipper were determined to confront and defeat Gideon to reclaim their rightful home. In an intense scene in the episode, the gnomes, driven by their determination, overpower the guards and forcibly break through the wire fence. So far, so good, right? Except if you look a bit closer at the gnomes, it appears that breaking through the fence was more chaotic than initially thought. The gnomes not only overran the guards, but also impaled two of them with their hats. It's not surprising that the scene was eventually decided to be removed. As you can see, two guards lie on the ground with gnomes having pierced them with their hats. Peppa Pig is a very popular children's series, and you'll probably be surprised that they did have to ban an episode. However, this didn't happen worldwide, but the episode was banned only in Australia. This was because the government was concerned about the information used in the cartoon. The episode Spiders Can't Hurt You was banned in Australia, not once, but twice, because the name of the episode is inappropriate for the people living in Australia. It's common knowledge that there are thousands of dangerous spiders living on this continent, and many of them can hide in people's houses. If people are not careful enough, some spider bites can be deadly. So to protect Australian children, the government decided to ban the episode. The Simpsons, an animated series created by Matt Groening, is known for its satirical humor and the uncanny ability to make eerily accurate predictions about real-world events. In the 1997 episode titled The Mysterious Voyage of Homer, there's a scene where the cameras transition from Marge and Homer's upstairs bedroom to the family's living room. If you pay close attention to the passing floorboards, you'll notice that the telephone wires are labeled with tags representing the NSA, FBI, and CIA. This hints at the concept of government surveillance and suggests that such agencies might be monitoring people's phone conversations even within their own homes. This episode was released in 1997, and in 2013, Edward Snowden exposed global surveillance programs by leaking classified documents to journalists. These documents reveal that intelligence agencies were indeed collecting vast amounts of data on citizens' communications. Another reference can be found in The Simpsons movie, released in 2007. In this film, Marge, Lisa, and Bart are portrayed as fugitives trying to save the town of Springfield from destruction. While discussing their fugitive status on a train, Lisa warns her family members to be cautious about what they say. However, Marge reassures Lisa that no one from the government is eavesdropping. Unbeknownst to Marge, the NSA is depicted as listening in on their conversation and planning to apprehend the family immediately. In Season 12 of SpongeBob SquarePants, there's an episode titled Quarantined Crab, with a topical theme. The main characters find themselves in a quarantine situation at the Krusty Krab, imposed by a health inspector. In the episode, they try to determine who among them has fallen ill with a disease called clam flu, and what the consequences are. However, some critics argue that there were specific concerns about anti-Asian remarks. In the episode, supposedly sick individuals are locked in a freezer, raising concerns about possible stigmatization. Due to the sensitive content and its potential impact, the episode is no longer available on streaming platforms and digital marketplaces. This decision was made amid a troubling increase in discrimination against Asians linked to the ongoing virus pandemic, which has caused significant social and cultural tensions in America.
You've probably seen several Pixar movies in your lifetime, but did you know that almost all Pixar movies contain a hidden message? This message, which you may have noticed before but ignored it, is the letter A and number 113. You can find it everywhere, from Toy Story and Cars to The Hunger Games and some Marvel movies. In 1995's Toy Story, it's on a license plate, and in 2003's Finding Nemo, it was on a camera. It always seems to be hidden somewhere. This hidden message, while strange, would have a logical explanation. A113 is the number of the animation classroom at the California Institute of Arts. This is where many of the animators went to school.
Tom and Jerry is an iconic animated series that has entertained audiences of all ages for decades. Created by William Hanna and Joseph Barbera in 1940, this beloved cat and mouse duo has become a staple in the world of animation. The series is known for its humor, clever gags, and the endless chase between Tom, the house cat, and Jerry, the clever mouse. A notable character in Tom and Jerry is Mammy Two Shoes, also known as Mammy or Dina. Mammy Two Shoes is a recurring character in the series and appears in 19 different Tom and Jerry cartoons. She's depicted as an African-American lady responsible for taking care of the house where Tom and Jerry reside. While it's unclear whether Mammy is the owner of the house or merely the housekeeper, she often finds herself in the midst of the chaos caused by the mischievous cat and mouse. For years, Mammy Two Shoes' face remained hidden, adding to the intrigue surrounding her character. However, in one episode titled Saturday Evening Puss, Mammy's face was finally revealed. This was a significant moment for fans who had always wondered what she looked like. Quietly removed from recent home releases of the beloved animated film Toy Story 2, Disney deleted a fake blooper scene that contained a disturbing casting couch scenario. Throughout Pixar films, a recurring gag has been the inclusion of fake bloopers during the end credits. These bloopers feature the animated characters making comedic mistakes, flubbing lines, and even breaking the fourth wall by speaking directly to the camera, as if they were real actors. This scene showed the character Stinky Pete the Prospector, a small, rattan bearded toy figure. He engaged in inappropriate conversations with two Barbie dolls and suggested that he could get them roles in the next film. While this scene was fictional, it mirrored the disturbing practice that exists within the entertainment industry. It reflected the unfortunate reality of powerful individuals using their influence to demand relationships from subordinates in exchange for career opportunities. When Pixar was caught removing the scene, and for filming it in the first place, they offered their apologies. It's no secret that China has its own interesting rules for the country. For example, YouTube and Instagram are banned. But the government had also banned an episode of Winnie the Pooh for a pretty hilarious reason. In fact, in one of the episodes, the president of China, Xi Jinping, was insulted for being compared to the cartoon bear. It's always a bad idea to make jokes about the Chinese government. And after people started mocking the president by calling him Winnie the Pooh, a new movie by Christopher Robin was banned for good. This whole thing started in 2013, when Xi Jinping and Obama were caught walking together and were immediately compared to Winnie the Pooh and Tigger. Do you think this was a good reason to ban Winnie the Pooh? Let me know in the comments. South Park is known for its satirical and cheeky humor, often addressing societal and political issues. In the 7th episode of the 18th season of South Park, titled Grounded Vindaloop, the creators explore the concept of virtual reality. In this episode, the main characters, Stan, Kyle, Cartman, and Kenny, acquire an Oculus Rift virtual reality headset. However, they become uncertain about what's real and what's part of the virtual reality simulation. This confusion leads to a series of comedic situations as they attempt to determine their actual existence. The episode delves into the blurring boundaries between the real world and the virtual world, highlighting the potential disorientation and uncertainty brought by immersive technologies. It critiques the growing popularity of virtual reality devices, offering humorous commentary on society's fascination with technology and its impact on our perception of reality. Throughout the episode, the experiences of the boys in both the real world and the virtual reality simulation become increasingly intertwined, creating a sense of confusion and comedic chaos. Arthur is a popular animated television series about Arthur Reed, a friendly young aardvark and his adventures in the imaginary city of Elwood City. Arthur and his friends experience various situations and learn valuable lessons as they grow up and explore the world around them. Great McGrady is the first episode of Season 13 and aired in October 2009. This episode tells a poignant story of which Mr. McGrady, one of Arthur's teachers, receives a devastating cancer diagnosis. Notably, this episode features Lance Armstrong, known for his battle against cancer and his role as a spokesperson for the disease. However, after the revelation that Armstrong had used performance-enhancing banned substances, the episode was pulled from circulation. In 2021, an updated version of the episode was released, allowing the story to continue while addressing the doping scandal surrounding Lance Armstrong. In the episode, Binky tries to cheer up her sad Francine by giving her Lance Armstrong's email address, which he had obtained during the Elwood City Bike-a-thon. Lance Armstrong then visits Francine and goes on a bike ride with her, and they even discuss medical treatment and the support of friends.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? The colorful underwater world of SpongeBob and his friends seems like the most innocent children's series ever. In the more than 20 years that SpongeBob has been around, it has been one of the most popular cartoon series ever released. But there is a theory circulating that Bikini Bottom, the world in which SpongeBob is set, is supposedly based on real Bikini Atoll in the Marshall Islands. Bikini Atoll has a dark and tragic past. Between 1946 and 1958, 67 nuclear weapons tests were conducted there by the US government. SpongeBob himself has themes from the 1940s. A 2001 episode, Dying for Pie, featured an image of a mushroom cloud-like explosion. SpongeBob SquarePants was said to be the most horrific result of radioactivity that had mutated a sea sponge, although the creators of SpongeBob never confirmed this theory.
The Lion King is an animated Disney film released in 1994, known for its immersive story and iconic music. The film follows the journey of Simba, a young lion cub who must reclaim his rightful place as king of the Pride Lands after the tragic death of his father. A memorable song from the film is Be Prepared, which showcases the villainous Scar and his plans to become king. Interestingly, the animators of The Lion King drew inspiration from the scene from a Nazi propaganda film from 1935 called Triumph des Willens, Triumph of the Will. The association between the hyenas in the film and Nazi symbolism is based on some visual similarities and scenes in the film that evoke Nazi propaganda. The connection between the scene and Triumph des Willens is not widely known to the general public. The animators likely studied the visual style and composition to capture the menacing and imposing atmosphere embodied by the character Scar in The Lion King. The Ductators is a banned Looney Tunes cartoon from World War II that depicts Hitler and the Axis powers as ducks. Let that sink in for a moment. Released on August 1st, 1942, The Ductators is a satirical Looney Tunes short film directed by Norman McCobb. It parodies the events of World War II, and the title itself serves as a pun of the word dictator. In the cartoon, Adolf Hitler is portrayed as a white duckling with a toothbrush mustache, and Benito Mussolini is depicted as a goose. The character reaches its climax when a pair of doves, appropriately named Peace and Quiet, are entertained with a story about the war. The heads of the enemies are comically displayed as trophies above a fireplace. In the final message, the audience is encouraged to show their patriotism by buying war bonds. There's even a character presumably representing Joseph Stalin. The events of the Simpsons episode, Blame It on Lisa, are set in Rio de Janeiro, a municipality in Brazil, and the Simpsons, except for Maggie, had to go looking for an orphan. At first glance, it looks like a typical Simpsons episode. But Brazil didn't like the way the cartoon portrayed the country and the city.
so it was banned from airing for years. It's safe to say that the city was not shown in the best way. As Homer was held for ransom, there were many criminals, and dozens of rats ran free on the streets throughout the episode. However, in 2012, Brazil changed its mind and allowed The Simpsons to air the episode, but after a heavy dose of censorship, after which the city was portrayed in a better way.
The Little Mermaid is a beloved Disney animated film that tells the enchanting story of Ariel, a young mermaid who dreams of exploring the human world. The cartoon is set in the underwater kingdom of Atlantica and follows Ariel's journey to pursue her love for the human prince Eric, despite the opposition from her father, King Triton. In a scene from Little Mermaid, during the introduction of King Triton to a crowd of mermen, sharp-eyed viewers can spot some cameo appearances. Alongside the well-known Disney characters, Mickey Mouse, Goofy, and Donald Duck, another iconic character, Kermit the Frog, can be seen if you look closely. Kermit the Frog, created by Jim Henson, is the beloved leader of the Muppets, known for his distinctive voice and his role as the host of The Muppet Show. Kermit's cameo appearance in The Little Mermaid is a playful nod to the collaboration between Disney and the Jim Henson Company, responsible for creating The Muppets. Cameo appearances like these are not uncommon in Disney films, as they often include subtle references or appearances of characters from other Disney properties. What's your favorite cartoon? Let me know in the comments. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos we've made, click one on the screen or take a look at the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.